One day we are all going to die, and we are going to be resurrected, and we are going to stand in the presence of the Almighty God. And those that are good amongst us are going to be rewarded with an everlasting life in paradise, whereas those that removed themselves from the presence of the Almighty God, they are going to be punished in the eternal fire of hell. So this is actually one of the beliefs in Islam, wal yawmil akhir. We believe that it's termed the last day. So what is the purpose of the last day? It is to separate the people. Whatever we were talking about, or like last week, where are the dead, and everything that is happening now in Islam is termed as barzakh, where they are going. And they are going to, yes, whether they are in good conditions or in bad conditions, they are all waiting for that one day when everyone is going to stand before the Almighty God. Now, there is no one who has stood before the Almighty God. But on that day, when even those that will be on earth, they are going to be destroyed, or they are going to die, and then they are going to be resurrected again, and they are going to stand in rows in front of the Almighty God, naked and bare feet. And then that is reckoning will start, and people are going to be asked about their lives in this world. So on that time, that is when the righteous are going to be put into paradise, and the non-believers and those that displeased the Almighty God are going to be punished in eternal fire of hell. So now, regarding paradise, the Quran and the prophetic traditions have explained in greater details almost all the important questions that we have been answered. And since today we are talking about hell, it is also answered in the Quran in a chapter called Surah Al-Bayyinah, which is the 100th chapter of the Quran. It talks about Inna alladhina kafaru, that those people who disbelieved, min ahlil kitabi wal mushrikin, from the people of the book and the polytheists, fi nari jahannam, they are going to be in the fire of Jahannam. So it tells us where the disbelievers are going, those who rejected the Almighty God, those who associated partners with the Almighty God. So this establishes the existence of the fire of Jahannam, or hell, which also, I think, in terms in Christianity, I've heard people say Gehenna also. It's one of the names that people refer to it, and other faith, they have got names that they believe they refer to it as. In Islam, we are, however, taught that, Jannah, or paradise, it has got stages which are known as darajats, which means stages they ascend. They are going high on top. So those that are going to be on the highest level of paradise, it is known as Jannatul Firdaus, the highest level of paradise. It means those are the most righteous people. And then the good people in paradise, the generally good, will be on the lowest. Now, we have heaven. Heaven has got 7 doors, or there are 7 levels of heaven. We have the first heaven, second heaven, third heaven, fourth heaven, sixth heaven, and the 7th heaven, which there is restricted access there. But in the same way we have 7 heavens, it is said that hell has got also 7 stages. And the stages in hell, they are going down. I said the stages in paradise, they are ascending, they are going up. But the stages in hell, they are going down. The further you are, the more terrible the heat is, the more the punishment. So which means that the ones that are going to be at the bottom of the pit of hell are the worst of the creatures that are going to be punished there. And the Quran tells us that the Almighty says that we prepared the fire of Jahannam, or we prepared hell for those that disbelieve from the jinns and the mankind. So hell was not only prepared for us as human beings. There are also other creatures that we always speak about, known as the jinns. They are also going to go into hell, and they are going to be punished, including the devil Satan, and we believe that he was a jinn. And if we were to go into details, these various stages of hell, they also have names that they are referred to in Islam. When we talk of Jahim, when we talk of Sakar, when we talk of various other stages, there are certain categories of people that will be going into these various stages. And it is said that how deep the pit of hell is, if you were to roll a boulder or a stone into that pit, it will take 70 years just rolling down, permeating until it reaches the bottom.
Imam, does this mean that in Islam there are different types of sins?
Yes.
Sins are not the same, are not equal in Islam.
Sins are not the same. That is why in Islam we have minor sins and we have major sins. So we have sins that are forgivable.
Yeah.
If I do something wrong, maybe I omitted a prayer or maybe I did not behave well where I was supposed, God can forgive me.
Yeah.
But they are said, even though it is still a sin, if I still, God can still forgive me. If I correct myself, I ask for forgiveness, or for some reason I did something that is good, and because of that, the Almighty God may overlook whatever wrong that I may have done. But there is a sin, which is a sin of disbelief, where I have rejected the Almighty God. It's a sin, and it is a kind of a sin that is not forgivable until a person believes.
Repent.
So if you don't believe, then there is no coming back for you. You are a disbeliever and God is going to send you to hell. You are going to be punished. But amongst the other sins which are done by both believers and non-believers, there are also categories. There are other sins which are major in terms of their gravity, and there are others which are minor. Every day we commit sins, knowingly or unknowingly.
That means in Islam we believe that a sin as something that will take you to hell.
What does the word sin means? Sin means disobedience of the Almighty God. So that is our definition in Islam. So if you tell me that, okay, the disobedience of the Almighty God, how does it occur? It occurs in various stages. Some levels are just minor and some levels are forgivable because it is the Almighty God himself who has said. Because in the Quran, he says that he does not forgive associating partners with him. وَيَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ, but he forgives whosoever he wishes for having committed anything that is besides that. So he is telling us that anything else he can forgive, but polytheism he does not forgive. And he also tells us that when you do something that is good, there are certain good deeds that we are taught that when we do them, the Almighty God forgives our minor sins. So now, whatever we are saying based on the knowledge of revelation that the Almighty God has sent to us. And so we know that even in our worldly life, we know that sins don't carry the same repercussions. There are some people who are behind prison now. Some are serving 5 years, some 10 years, some 20 years, some have been sentenced to life in prison. Why? Because the degree of their sin is different. That is the same thing with us. Remember, when you look at the laws that are being used in the land, they are commonly the Roman Dutch law, which are also derived from the scriptures, which means that they are influenced by certain teachings that people have come across from the scriptures. Mind you, these are man-made laws, but where do men come with this concept of punishing for the wrongs that that are done by the other? They took it from the act of the Almighty God himself, though the difference is the justice of the Almighty God is 100%, and the justice of us as human beings is not 100%. It's flawed. God does not make mistakes. There are people who are in prison there now today. Some of them, they are innocent. They were accused of wrongs that they did not commit. But with the justice system of the Almighty God, no person is going to be punished for anything that he did not commit. The Quran tells us that لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى. No bearer of a burden will bear the burden of another person. No one is going to be made to be answerable for something that was done by another person.
Yeah.
On the day of judgment, the Quran states that يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. That on the day of judgment, it is such a horrible and horrific day that every person is going to run away from his associates, his worldly associates, such that a person is going to run away from his own parent. Your own mother, you are going to say, Mommy, I've got my own issues to deal with.
Yeah.
Daddy, I've got my own issues to deal with. Your own brother, your own sister, your own friends that you were your bosom friends that you used to go to places together with.
Yeah.
You are going to run away from them and say, today enough is myself for myself. So it is a day when a person is going to be responsible for whatever they did, and God will be 100% just.
So lastly, tell me about what does Islam says about you explained about hell. Does Islam gives us the photograph of hell on how hell might be look like?
Yes.
Is it composed of fire?
Yes, it is composed of fire. There, let me
And
tell you in brief. There is a prophetic tradition which says that the Almighty God, when he lit the fire of Jahannam or hell, it burned for 1,000 years and the fire was like white in color. And he rekindled it for another 1,000 years and it was reddish in color. And he rekindled it again for another 1,000 years and it is black and dark. And these various colors of hell, they depict the different temperatures of the fire of hell. And there are different groups that are going to be occupying different levels with different temperatures of hell. And besides that, there is another level in the fire in Jahannam or in hell, which is said that it is very cold. When people think about hell, they only think about the fire.
Yeah.
But there is another portion there which is very cold. And there is also another portion which is said that it has got like rooms that have got different types of animals. There are serpents which emit poison. They are poisonous snakes. There are also poisonous donkeys. And there are also trees which are known as zakum, shajaratu zakum, which is a thorny and pricky and bitter
It is
fruit.
stated in the
that,
Quran.
Yes, which people who are there are going to eat. When you eat that fruit, it is said that it is going to scratch and take out the meat from the throats and the inside of that person who will be eating. Why? Because these people, they will be burning and they will be feeling so hot that they will ask for something to drink. And instead of being given cool, cold water to drink, they are going to drink boiling water. They are going to drink pus. They are going to drink from this. They are going to eat from this zakum. So everything of theirs will be terrible. And again, it is said, kullama nadudat juludun. Every time when they are burnt in the fire, when the skin is finished up, they are going to be replaced with a new skin. And so the punishment will continue. So you will burn and burn. You think after you finished burning, then the punishment is finished. No, you are going to be given new flesh again. And then you burn and burn. When that is finished, you give a new flesh again. And that is going to continuously happen. But importantly, again, there is another level, which is the topmost of hell. It is reserved for the believers. You know, there are some people who believed in the Almighty God and everything, but they disobeyed the Almighty God. They did a lot of other things. Probably they stole, probably they were backbiting, probably they were committing adultery and many other things. Ultimately, they are going to be put into paradise, but they are going to go to paradise via hell, and that is their level.